My name is Kira and I am a type 1 diabetic, and I've been type 1 diabetic for over 20 years. And tomorrow I'm officially switching from my Omnipod 5 to the Tandem Mobi. So I thought it would be great to share my experience with others who are either type 1 diabetic or curious about what type 1 diabetes looks like in the form of a vlog style video. Growing up with type 1 diabetes, there weren't a whole ton of resources like this until probably more into my teens and into college, and now as an adult. With the rise of short form video, there's so many more resources now. However, I still feel like there's a lack of insight into what everyday life really looks like. Sure, you get these short snippets, but I'm the kind of person who wants to know everything. I want to see everything. I want to feel like I'm there with you. So I thought that this might be enjoyable for others to take a look at and get a little bit more than a peek into what this experience looks like. So tomorrow I am going to take you along to training. I don't know how much footage I'll actually get in training because obviously I want to pay attention and make sure I know how to use my new device. But I am more than happy to talk through what the experience was like after the fact, as well as kind of show you my first few hours on the new device. I can tell you a little bit how it differs from Omnipod, which I've been on for years now, since I want to say my senior year of high school, and my 10-year reunion's coming up. So I was on Omnipod for a really long time, and before Omnipod I was on an Animus pump since I was 5 years old. I was diagnosed at 4. So I've been pumping for a really long time, and while there are so many more options on the market now, I feel like I have fairly good insight into what the options look like between tubeless, tube pumps, and obviously going on Tandem Mobi, I'll get to experience Control IQ, which is kind of some of the best technology and one of the best algorithms currently available. So I am super excited. I hope that this is an interesting video, and if you're watching, I hope that you're able to gain some sort of insight from this. As I get older, I think that diabetes awareness and advocacy is super important, and it's something that I want to be more cognizant of doing. As a type 1 diabetic myself, I think that sharing my experiences and what diabetes looks like for me is a really great way to do that. I do want to kind of put a disclaimer out there. I know some people are really triggered by seeing kind of diabetes perfection on the internet. That is not me. I'm not perfect by any means, but obviously if that's something that's triggering to you, no pressure to watch. I totally understand. But yeah, I am a perfectionist in a lot of areas of my life, but diabetes is not really one of them. I've gone through my own burnout, and at the age of 27, I'm truly just trying to do my best, along with balancing all the other things that come along with being a young adult. And never compare yourself. If you're a type 1 diabetic watching this, or you're a parent of a type 1 diabetic child, don't compare, because every person is different. We all go through our ups and downs. So by watching one video, you might see one person's best day, but you're not seeing all of their terrible days that might have led up to that or happened after. So keep that in mind. I think it's super important. It's not good to get into the mentality of comparing yourself, especially when you're living with a chronic disease like type 1 diabetes. Anywho, now that I've gotten all my talking out of the way, I'm mostly going to be showing my day tomorrow, but since I am going to work in the morning and then leaving work to go to training, I thought I would take some time now on Monday evening to show everything that I'm taking to training with me. Okay, so before I show my supplies that I have prepared, I'm going to just insert on the screen here a screen grab of the checklist that I found online. I will also include in the description below the link directly to this, so you can download it and print it out yourself. But I will put it here so you can kind of take a peek and have an understanding before I show you everything that's laid out in front of me. Okay, so this is everything I'm going to be taking with me. I do have a box here that some of my supplies shipped in, and I'm just going to throw it all in that. And then I also have a bunch of paperwork and notes here that I'm going to throw in there as well, just to make sure I have them. First things first, to state the obvious, the Tandem Mobi pump itself, it comes in this box like this, and then you also need to bring this box, which is the accessories and instructions. There's a big training manual on the bottom there, and then in here is a bunch of the charging supplies, the case that they send you with, as well as these adhesive patches. I don't plan to put this on tomorrow, but on the checklist it does say to bring them, so I figured better to be safe than sorry and just have them with me even if I don't use them. It says to bring 2 to 3 cartridges. I'm just bringing 2 because I don't see a need for 3. And then it says to bring 2 to 3 of each type of infusion set. So I have the 23-inch and the 5-inch of the AutoSoft XC. So I have 2 of the 23-inch because, again, that's what I plan on putting on. The 5-inch I have 1 of just because the checklist says to have both kinds, but I don't plan on putting that on. I have used infusion sets. I don't think I've used the XC, but I'm pretty sure I used the AutoSoft 90 when I was on my Animus, so I'm very familiar with these. Obviously, they didn't have the 5-inch tubing back then, but 23-inch tubing is what I'm used to, and I'm pretty sure I'll only wind up needing 1 of these, but it has been a while, so better to be safe than sorry. Some alcohol swabs, obviously. I already have 1 of these on, and on the checklist it says that I should be able to connect to it during training, but just in case I have a backup. Insulin I'm gonna add in the morning because obviously it's in my refrigerator, and then I'll stick it in my fridge at work. And then I ordered my own little case for the Tandem Mobi from, I think this is Sugar Medical. Yeah, Sugar Medical, just because I've heard not great things about the one that comes with it. So I brought my own case because I am going back to work after training, and I just want to make sure that I'm comfortable. So yeah, that's everything that I am bringing with me. I thought it was going to be a lot more than it actually is. Honestly, these boxes are just kind of big. I do also think I'm going to stick my phone charger in there because the checklist recommends doing that. However, my phone charges in the car on the way to work every morning because I have a 30 to 35 minute commute, and I charge it every night, so I don't really foresee needing a phone charger, but again, I'd rather be safe than sorry. And then the other thing I wasn't sure about was whether or not I needed to charge the Mobi before training. I've seen in videos, obviously it does need to be charged before you use it, but the checklist doesn't say to charge it. So I figured that we'll probably put it on the charger during training. So I'm not gonna mess with it. I don't want to take everything out of the boxes and then have to pack them back up tonight. So we're just gonna roll with this. I'm super excited, and it's kind of sad to think that it's gonna be my last night with my Omnipod, but I've personally faced a lot of challenges with my Omnipod, and I'm looking forward to trying something new. I think that the Tandem Mobi is going to be better suited for my lifestyle now, and I think the algorithm is going to work a lot better for me. I personally think I need something a little bit more aggressive. One thing I do want to call out, and I may reiterate this and kind of go a little bit deeper tomorrow, is that everybody's different again, and there's a system for everybody, and there's, timing is everything. Something that worked for you 5 years ago may not work for you in a new phase of life, and you might need to switch. So definitely listen to your doctors, listen to your body, do your own research, understand your lifestyle and your needs, and pick something that's best suited for you. Good morning. Please don't mind my hair. It's just before 7 o'clock. I had my alarm set for 6:45 this morning, and I always, take a couple of minutes to wake up in bed. But I have my phone charger here that I'm just gonna go throw in with my stuff for training today. I'm also having some bad back pain from this weekend, so I'm bringing my heating pad with me today to use in the office. And then also just from last night, I forgot that I had to do a pod change until I was already in bed. So my husband brought me all my supplies and I did a pod change literally to wear for, you know, like 12 hours and then I have to rip it off. So I filled it with the minimum amount of insulin, but I'm still gonna waste some insulin, unfortunately. Obviously, I can try and pull the insulin out of the pod if I remember, but it's gonna be a busy day, so I don't know if I'm gonna get to that. So I'm now working on getting myself ready for the day, doing a little bit of makeup. Tuesdays is my day to feed the boys. We have a dog and a cat. Kona, my husband, will usually feed them on Mondays and Wednesdays before he goes to work. And then obviously on Thursday and Friday, he's at home because he's a nurse. He works 3 days a week. So he takes care of them then. But Tuesday mornings, it's on me, and then I feed them their dinner every night, basically. Pepper could not wait for his breakfast, so he's already been fed. But lately, Cosmo gives me a little bit of a hard time on Tuesdays because he goes to doggy daycare on Monday, and he's so tired that like he doesn't even want to eat his food in the morning on Tuesdays. So today I'm gonna wait until closer to when I need to leave for work to feed him to see if he's a little bit more energized. And if not, on Tuesdays my mom comes during the day to see them and to let Cosmo out to go potty, and she will put his food back down for him if he hasn't eaten it. He gets like a refrigerated food, so I don't feel good just leaving it out. But yeah, so Pepper, the cat, has already gotten his breakfast. I'm working on putting on my makeup, and then I'll probably take Cosmo outside to go potty and see if he wants to do his breakfast before I get into my outfit for the day and do the finishing touches like my hair and jewelry and all of that fun stuff. Not sure if I mentioned this yet, but my blood sugar was 126 this morning, which I would say is pretty typical. I usually start to rise after I wake up, dawn phenomenon. I've been dealing with that forever. I'm curious to see how the Control IQ algorithm will affect that, so we'll see. But yeah, I don't really eat breakfast in the morning usually, except on the rare occasions on the weekends when we go out to breakfast or make a breakfast at home. And if I do eat breakfast, it's usually later in the morning. On weekdays, I usually just have a coffee. And this time of year in the summer, we do iced coffee, especially since we live in Florida and it's a million degrees. I could not tolerate hot coffee this time of year. So that's basically what I have. And I will say coffee makes my blood sugar go off the charts. So for me, for coffee, I don't really bolus based off of carbs. I bolus based off of the amount of insulin that I know will work for the coffee. I'm sure other people know how that feels. I also am the kind of person who likes my coffee super sweet, so I do use quite a bit of creamer. But yeah, I get plenty of calories in from my coffee in the morning to keep me sustained, but I'll show you what I'm bringing to work with me for snacks and whatnot. I do bring some snacks with me, and I usually will have a snack in the morning before lunch. My work provides lunch for us. We have chefs that cook for us every single day, and lunch is from 12 to 1. So we have, in my opinion, a pretty early lunch because I usually go down between 12 to 12:30. Today I won't be eating lunch at work because I'm going to training. So I am thinking that I might pick up some lunch on my way back to the office, and I'll have a working lunch. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. I'm very excited to go to training. I commute into work every day. It's about a 30-35 minute from here, depending on the traffic. But my doctor's office, where I'm going for training, is actually closer to work. It's only like 12 to 15 minutes away from the office. So it works out really well that I'm going midday, and then I will go back to work after. But I haven't done a pump training in years since I switched to Omnipod. And I don't really remember how long it takes. So I told my boss, I'm like, I could be there for an hour, I could be there for 2 hours. I really don't know. But thankfully my boss and really everybody at my job is very considerate and cool about stuff like that. So it shouldn't be a problem. It's now a few minutes later and I'm just finishing up my makeup, but I got a notification that my blood sugar is 153 with a slight arrow up. So I went ahead and did a correction for that. You'll probably hear my pod beeping in the background, but I'm pretty much done with this. Cosmo is up over there and he's probably ready to go out and have his breakfast. So we're gonna go take care of him and then we'll come back to finishing getting ready in a bit. Can you go potties? Can you go potties? Okay, Cosmo's all taken care of. He's eating his breakfast right now, but I figured while I was out here, I'd show you what I'm bringing to work with me today for my snacks. First things first, I have my Awala in here, which is empty. There's just a little bit of ice left over from yesterday. So I will fill that up at work so that it's not too heavy in my bag. Obviously, all of my diabetes supplies for training is right here, like I showed you guys. My reminder for insulin. Here's my pair that I'm gonna take with me, and I'm probably gonna have that this morning. And then these look a little worse for wear because they've been in my bag for a few days now, but these are just some little rice cakes, and these are some little pea crisps. And then I just have the carb count written on the corner of them. So these are 12 carbs, these are 21 carbs. So that should be good enough for me for today. And like I said, I will probably pick up some lunch to bring back to the office with me after training. Okay, here's a look at what I am wearing today. I was pretty strategic about my outfit for training. I didn't want to have like a dress on or anything that would require me to like declothe myself. So I just went for a top and pants, both loose and comfy. My Dexcom is currently on my stomach right here, and I'm planning to put my Tandem Mobi site either on my abdomen or my lower back. Yeah, so this top is from Madewell. These pants are the Aritzia Helix pants, and then I just have some little white loafers on. So very comfortable, very loose, should be good for training. White pants might be a little bit risky, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, my blood sugar is now 172, straight arrow. I just made my coffee, so I'm gonna go ahead and bolus for this. I usually do 35 carbs for my coffee. And then I'm gonna load up my car and head out. Okay, I'm now on my car journey to work. I have my coffee. Very good. One thing that I think I forgot to mention when I was talking about packing up my supplies and the checklist for training is that they also recommend that you download, or they tell you that you need to download the Tandem Mobi app and create an account. So I did that. I have that set up on my phone. Obviously I didn't connect my pump or anything to it, but I have that ready to go. I think that was the only thing I missed, but obviously you guys will have seen the checklist. You can access it yourselves and you can tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah, usually on my drive to work I will listen to a podcast or music, but mostly a podcast, especially in the morning. I am a lover of true crime. I love listening to Crime Junkie, Dateline, 2020. I listen to Park Predators sometimes, but that's not my favorite. So if you ever have any good true crime podcast recommendations, please share them with me. One other thing that I wanted to talk about quickly, well, side note, school started up yesterday here, and I'm stopped behind a school bus now, so that's great. I knew that this would happen. It's now 11:15 and I am driving to my endo's office because that's where I'm doing my pump training. My blood sugar is currently 95, which I will say I've been feeling very hungry. Let me turn my AC down so you can hear me better. I also have a mint in my mouth because I've been snacking, because I've been pretty hungry this morning. I think it's kind of part of feeling anxious in like wanting to get to this training and wanting to get this done is it's made me hungry. So I had my pear this morning, and then I started snacking on my little pea crisps, which I actually have here. I ate like half of them, and I did a bolus because I had so much insulin on board still, and I'm kind of trending down. And if anything, I'd rather be a little bit higher for pump training because I don't want to have shaky hands while like learning a new system and putting in settings and everything. So I feel pretty good now. I am about 10 minutes away from my appointment, so I'll get there and head in and let you guys know how it goes. Okay, I'm officially done with pump training. Ta-da! I even have my little case on it. Everything went really smoothly, and I feel like it was pretty straightforward. Obviously, I've been pumping for a little bit, though. It's not anything new to me. But yeah, I'm super excited to kind of see how the first couple of hours go. I am very, very hungry, and I need to get back to work, so I'm gonna go pick up my lunch and head back to the office, and I'll probably give like a full debrief a little bit later on. I'm about to pull back up to the office in a minute here, but I did just want to share that I went ahead and pre-bolused for 35 carbs. I'll give you a look at what my food looks like when I get upstairs, but it is pasta, so I might bolus a little bit more just depending on how much I eat, but my pre-bolus should at least get me started and keep me from going too high. But yeah, I have a meeting at 2 o'clock, which is in like 30 minutes, so I'll have to eat and then jump on that. So I'll probably update you guys a little bit later in the afternoon, and then again when I'm heading home from work. This is what lunch looks like. It's the Little Smoky from CR Chicks. If you haven't had it and you live in South Florida, you need to. It's so good. But I'm probably gonna eat about half of this. I bolused 35 carbs, so I'll probably wind up bolusing another 10 to 15. Hello, little man. Were you good today? Were you good kitties today, honey? What are you doing in there, Cosmo? What are you doing in there, buddy? You're laying in your box, huh? You want to have some dinner too? I'm now home, and it's around 6:10. I just fed the boys, and Cosmo is whining to go outside, so I need to be quick. But I'm prepping dinner to get it in the oven. I didn't realize, and I didn't plan accordingly, it's a very carb heavy day. Tonight we're making baked potatoes with ground beef and corn, and I got some fresh cheese to shred on top. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this au jus gravy mix in with the ground beef to give it a little bit of a sauce. So yeah, definitely a little bit more of a carb heavy day, but let me grab a knife. I want to prep these potatoes and get them in the oven because they take a little bit to cook. So I'm just poking them with a knife so that they don't explode. And then I'm going to put a little bit of avocado oil on them and salt. And my oven is preheated to, or it's preheating to 400. And I'll probably cook them for like 40 minutes. I'll kind of check them throughout to see if they've gotten soft yet. I like my potatoes cooked well. I don't like an undercooked potato. I actually think this meal would probably be even better with sweet potato, but we have regular potatoes, so that's what we're using. So yeah, I'm gonna get these in the oven, take Cosmo out while they cook, and then I'll come in and kind of give more of an update on what my afternoon looked like on my Tandem Mobi first few hours. Overall, I would say things are going really well so far. I'm really happy with how my numbers are looking. So that's a good sign. I am interested to see how the night will go, my first night sleeping with it. So yeah, let me finish this up and then I will catch up with you guys outside. This is how my potatoes look with some avocado oil and some salt. Oven's not fully preheated yet. It's at 3 85, but I'm gonna go ahead and stick in my potatoes anyways because they can start cooking. Doesn't need to be exactly 400 to get started. Okay, so update on how things with the Tandem Mobi have been going so far this afternoon. First of all, it's so cute, and I love my little pink case from Sugar Medical. So I've been on Omnipod for over 10 years now, so it's been pretty much 10 years since I've had tubing, and I really thought it was going to be a big adjustment for me, but I have to say, so far, so good. I think the real big test will be sleeping tonight, and then obviously I'll have to take it off to shower, but I'm not too worried about that. Using the bathroom has been fine. I've had this clipped to my pants, and obviously I have the longer 23-inch tubing on, so bathroom has been fine, no issues there. It's not really bothering me or anything. Obviously, it's another thing to think about with figuring out where I'm gonna put this each day depending on outfit, but honestly, I kind of think it's nice to be a little bit more engaged in my diabetes in that way, and it kind of keeps me on top of things when I have, you know, these activities that are just in my natural life that cause me to have to think about it. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's my thinking behind it. After training today, I was so hungry. I'm used to eating lunch at like 12 o'clock now because that's when we have lunch at work. And obviously I missed lunch because I was at training. So I picked up CR Chicks on my way back to the office. It was like 3 minutes down the road from where my appointment was. And I pre-bolused when I was about 10 minutes away from the office. And I got up to my office space and I was so hungry. I devoured it and I kind of felt like I was in a food coma after that. And then my blood sugar was dropping. So I was around 70 for a while. I was going to bolus an additional 10 carbs while I was eating, but because my blood sugar dropped and I was around 70, I didn't want to add additional insulin. So that, in combination with the fact that the chef brought up mango sticky rice and I absolutely had to have a little portion of that, I think caused me to go a little bit high. I did bolus for the mango sticky rice as well. I did not pre-bolus, but I think I could have let it the insulin sink in a little bit more before I started eating it. And obviously I totally guessed on carbs for that. And we all know, us diabetics know how rice can be. It's a temperamental thing in combination with, you know, whatever the sweet, milky stuff on it is. So I went up to around 180, 184. And I felt like I was stuck there for a minute, but I did eventually come back down. I ended up sticking on a temp basal for like 15 minutes at one point just to kind of help. And I also turned my desk into standing desk so I could stand for a little bit. But yeah, other than that, everything's been pretty good. I think I'm down around 130 something now. And like I said, I'm prepping dinner. It's gonna be a little bit of a carb heavy dinner, but I'm just gonna have half of a potato with my ground beef, corn, and cheese. Kona, my husband, will probably have sour cream on his. I don't like sour cream. But yeah, that's gonna be dinner. And then it'll just be figuring out how I'm gonna sleep with this puppy. I'll probably clip it to my pajama pants, and I don't think I'll really have an issue, but we'll see. It's trial and error, so. Okay, so I got a few accessories for my Mobi, and I'm really wanting to decorate it because it's new and fun, and why not? So obviously I already showed my little case that I got from Sugar Medical. Also from Sugar Medical, I got the really cute little polka dot sticker that you can put on the Mobi. A lot of people have this one. I also got this little sticker from the Mobi from Pump Peels. And I'm actually wearing one of the matching little Dexcom stickers as well right now. So I thought it would be really cute to match them, and I just feel like this is fun for the end of summer. Even going into fall, like flowers, I love flowers. So I think I'm gonna give this one a go. Hopefully it's easy enough to remove so that when I get sick of it, I can put on this one without leaving any like weird residue, but I have a feeling they probably would have thought of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one on. I'm assuming you just stick it on here like that, so. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Look at her. I love it. I don't know if you can, I'm not gonna be able to show right now. Maybe if I move this down a little bit. I'm too short. My Dexcom matches. I'm so excited about this. There's nothing better than being excited about your diabetes devices. I think it's so important. It keeps you interested, and I mean, it's a terrible disease to have. We gotta enjoy the little things like the fun stickers, you know? Okay, well, I'm very pleased with that. And I even think it kind of like matches really well with my little pink case, so I'm really excited. So these ones are from Pump Peels, and then my pink case and the little polka dot one are from Sugar Medical. While I have the case off of this, I thought I would quickly just show how to slip it back into this case. Basically, you have to have it so that it looks like the pump is upside down. Like, to me, this is the bottom of the pump, and then this is the top of the case. So bottom of the pump to top of the case, and then you just slip it basically straight in, not on an angle or anything, just like that. And then the button will show through there, and then there's a little slot in the side here where the tubing can face through. And look, you can see my little sticker poking through. I love it. And doing it that way means that when you clip this on your pants, the tubing faces up. So really good. Oh, I have a pretty good size air bubble in there. Might have to try and get that out. One thing that I didn't have to worry about with Omnipod was air bubbles. So for me, that's something that like I'm constantly thinking about because it definitely can affect your blood sugars. So I'm probably gonna hyperfixate on that just a little bit in the beginning. Okay, I am jumping in the shower, so I just disconnected my pump and popped it on the charger. It doesn't need to charge, but I figure it's probably gonna work out best to just pop it on there every time I shower, same as I do with my Oura Ring. So I'm gonna leave that, and I'm gonna go jump in the shower while my dinner is cooking. Okay, it's currently 9 o'clock, and my blood sugar is at 156, and I think I'm pretty much done for the day, so I think I'm gonna call it a night and end this video here. I will really quickly show you my pump situation with my pajamas on. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna read my book a little bit. I'm currently reading The Academy by Ellen Hildebrand. I'm that far in. So I think I'm gonna read and then hit the sack. So let me give you a quick look at how I have my pump on my pajamas. Okay, so these are my pajamas. These are from Aerie, and they're like my favorite pajamas right now. And then I just have my pump clipped right here. So we'll see how the night goes. I'm crossing my fingers that I'm comfortable and I don't have any issues, but we'll see.